On our show today, we have a special guest. It's Alex Bevan.
My name's Charlie Mossbrook. If you're looking for a place to discover new music with interviews and live performances from different songwriters each week, welcome to Charlie's Open Mic.
Once upon a time, not long ago, there was a young one humming, walking down a road, moving kinda easy and moving kinda slow, just a wandering child, no place to go. Not too far away on a parallel track, there's another young'un dancing, a natural fact. Her heartbeat skipping, spinning along, a tune in mind, a favorite song. Whoa, you could think that they would come together. You should see how they should somehow meet, like a kite string working at the edge of a tether, flying overhead on a lonely street. Yeah. Sitting at the stoplight, ready not to swerve, imagining a move beyond the safety curve, tangent to the corner, convergent and equating, crushing up a rhythm, hyperventilating, and one lane away in an ancient Cadillac, there's an Uber-fessing, got us shaking TikTok facts, mounting to the Wu-Tang, indicating strange, ready for the throttle to accelerate a change, and whoa, you would think that they would come together. You could see how they would somehow meet at a kite string working at the edge of a tether, flying overhead on a lonely street. Well, he's worried about her, she's worried about him, worried that the worry's getting spread too thin. Some are thinking crazy, some think it's weird, some keep it hid, some keep it in the clear. Others sit in judgment they don't understand. Some choose to ignore it just the best they can. Some push away, some give it a shove, some gather up the world with everything called love. And oh, you would think they'd come together. Oh, you could see how they would somehow meet, like a kite string working at the edge of a tether, flying overhead on a lonely street. And when you break it down, love's the very best thing we've found. It's all you need and more. And when you break it down, love's the best thing that we've found, and it shakes you to its core. A little taste of honey on the tip of your tongue, a little bit of sweat when the work's all done. A change of perspective, the dance begins. It burns you to the rhythm of skin on skin. It's a dilated pupil, the short, quick breath, the arms of a lover so close to your chest, emotion so deep that you just might drown when all the connections that you lost are found. And whoa, you would think it'd come together. Whoa, you could see how they would somehow meet, like a kite string working at the edge of a tether, flying overhead on a lonely street. On a lonely street. on a time not long ago, there was a young'un humming and walking down a road, moving kinda easy and moving kinda slow, just a wandering child, no place to go. You know, every time I sing that song, I think of Diana Chittister. I do. Well, let's talk.
Well, welcome, Alex Bevan. Alex has been a longtime performer around the Cleveland area. Many of us consider him the patriarch of the local music scene. He's had some big regional hits, probably most notably Skinny Little Boy from Cleveland, Ohio. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing these days, Alex?
Well, like everybody else, I'm pretty hunkered down. About every day around 3:30, I play about a half-hour streaming thing, and it's a mix of folk songs and songs that I never play covers in my shows, so I'm doing the occasional cover of songs that I like. I'm going into my deeper catalog, just having fun with it. It gives structure to the day. The other thing I do is I walk a lot and I think. I just decided last night while I was thinking that I was going to rename the recording I'm working on. It was going to be the first 14, obviously, but we're into almost 30 days now, so that title had to go away. So I'm thinking about the bourbon-soaked pencil. You know, why put lead in your pencil when you can use alcohol? You know, I don't know. It'll change again, but I'm just trying to make sense out of things. And, like everybody else who, like yourself and every other working musician, trying to imagine what the future is going to look like. And, you can either be terrified by it or you can take the attitude of, well, I am going to adjust and I will innovate. A long, long time ago, I was down in Nashville for like a meetup with a couple of guys. There was this guy, Kate B. Jones, who was originally from Shaker Heights, and he was living in Nashville, and he had written some pretty good tunes for Travis Tritt. And he said, these Nashville songwriters are so smart, and you go and you play something at a song poll, and everybody steals all your good ideas, or they take them and they modify them. He says, I started out getting terrified. He says, but then I realized it's the greatest creative tool in the world, because I'll just get better. I'll just go out and I'll just I'll write better stuff all the time. So that's, one way to look at it.
Mm-hmm. I've used Folk Alliance in a lot of the same ways.
Yeah.
So you've been doing these we're all doing a little streaming here and there, and we'll throw in our PayPal numbers, but you've been doing these streaming concerts every day since the lockdown began, and you begin right after the governor and Amy Acton do their press conference. Has that been your plan?
Yeah. I think I was just conversing with Dave DiOrio over at WCPN, and I was trying to figure out when I actually started these, because behind me on the wall there, you can see all my set lists. I put them up there. Mm-hmm. But the earliest set list that I had was from March 22nd. But I know I started either the day before St. Pat or the day after. So it was pretty soon after, we got rolling with the lockdown. Because I think the lockdown started on a Sunday, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I started either that Monday or Tuesday.
Did you begin with the intention of doing it as a daily concert?
Nope.
It just sort of happened?
It just seemed like a good idea. I probably got to the third one and I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, probably get a little more organized and use it so that it helps me grow, and maybe it provides some relief to other folks. And, it took me a couple days to figure out what worked best streaming for me, which is, for me, it's just an iPad, and I've got all kinds of audio gear, but I could never get the signal and everything to match up. And I finally decided, well, that's not the important thing for me. The important thing is to present myself as just playing like I would at a campfire, very, very acoustically. So I use the microphone in the iPad, and it's not a iPad Pro or anything. It's like a Best Buy $300 iPad. That's what it is, and it's a workhorse. And then I take my little guitar amp and I turn up just enough sound on the guitar to kind of fill it in right. So I hope it works. It seems to.
Sounds good, and you're getting a lot of traction. I see a lot of people are really looking forward to that every day. I mean,
yeah, now I am too. Yeah, so it's a campfire.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it's definitely something people can count on. They can, as soon as they're done with the governor, his press conference, they can switch to you and miss the other entertaining show that comes out from our great leader.
Yeah. We don't need to talk about knuckleheads in the news. Yeah. So, but the whole thing to me is that for the time being, the vehicle of communication we have is the internet and the Zooms and the Facebooks, and so we'll work with that. And at some point when the hunker down restrictions start to get lifted, we'll be able to go out into that brave new world and figure out how we're going to play live for people, which is, aside from how I make my living, it's something that is very important because it helps define who I am. The way I participate in our culture is I try to be a songwriter and a communicator, and I try to be very positive, but not in a Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm kind of way. This is not the Wizard of Oz, and folk singers have forever used humor and sarcasm and irony to comment on things, and I'm happy to do that too. But I also like to every now and then write the prettiest song I can for the moment.
And you are great at that. That's for sure. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot lately about how these little I like to do the late night campfire sessions, and I just sneak up on people and just say, let's just do this. The other night, I don't even think I sang. I just doodled on the guitar for a little while to give somebody something to listen to, and just keeping people comfortable and keeping people going and keeping their spirits up, and the gratitude that I have just as a music fan, being able to just tune in and watch Alex Bevan every afternoon is, it's a great thing. It's wonderful.
Well, and there's so many other people doing this too. I mean, I watched Ralph Kuda the other day, Ken Stouffer. Last night I watched David Smeltz for about 20 minutes. He had done an earlier stream, and I said, "Oh, how did I miss this?" And so that's how you and I and these other people, we get a chance to see each other, because a lot of times, in that quote unquote real world, if there's a night I'm not playing, I would much rather be camping with my wife in some state park than go into a tavern or a restaurant, because that's where we sometimes make our living. We spend a lot of time in those places. The songs that I'm looking for now are probably, out of the natural world and simple relationships and stuff. The thing I love about the islands, an island has no frontiers. You go out there and what it is what it is. And as soon as you get on that island, you're there. You get a chance to look at everything with real fresh eyes. And so that's good. Kelly's Island State Park is one of the true hidden gems of this area, so that's a place that we like to take our little camper to. We have like a camper that looks like a canned ham.
Cool.
It's one of those teardrop campers. So anyway, that's us.
You've gotten out there and you're streaming every day. I mean, without fail, and it's really something people can count on. And you're doing it as simply as possible. You're not going into any. I think you're working with daylight there.
Yep.
I think
this is daylight. I have windows in my workroom over here, and I have curtains on them. So I adjust that. I take my walking cane and move the curtains.
Like canes are very useful tools. You'd be amazed at what I can do with a cane these days.
I know, yeah, and one of those little grabber things too. You know, yeah. So sometimes I fall over without the cane. me and Augie walking cane. We have great jokes about our knees. So you can get in on them with us. It's okay.
That'd be a lot of fun. I was talking to Augie about having a sit down concert sometime.
Yeah.
I think there's a few of us who struggle with our feet, trip over our toes from time to time.
Well, I didn't seem to slow you down in New Orleans. I was admiring the way you were plowing through. So.
Oh yeah, no, that was great, and that was a fun last hurrah for us. I think being able to get down there, and I think fortunately we all got out of there before this virus hit that area.
Yeah, well, there's a few people I'm worried about down there, and the prayers don't stop.
No. Is there a way people can check in on your Facebook page without? Is that open to the public?
Yeah, it's a public page.
Okay.
My music page it can have more likes, but I'm at the friend limit. But it's public. There's always something interesting on my website, alexbevan.com. Right now, there's a free download of my most recent release, True Meridian. That'll be up for a couple more days, and then maybe next week I'll put something else up. It's just trying to get stuff out there. It's a whole different world, so we make adjustments.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for doing that, and thanks for keeping our spirits up and being persistent with it, and engage in the community and pulling us all together at a time when we need to be together as much as we can be.
Well, thank you, Charlie. I'm very pleased that I'm able to do this.
I got a crooked stick. It keeps me from falling down upon the cold hard ground. And you better come quick, 'cause something's not right with me. And I can barely feel my feet. Well, then the spasms are bad from the damage to my spine. It is something that I struggle to explain. And there's nothing you can do. This is the best thing I've found. So please let me try to ease my pain with my crooked stick. It keeps me from falling down. So don't take away my walking cane, 'cause it's all I've got. Sometimes it's all I need. Keep me up from off of my knees. So don't stand in my way or accuse me of a crime. Don't make me have to ask you to look the other way from the secret that I keep. And this is the best thing I've found. So please let me try to ease my pain with my crooked stick. And it keeps me from falling down upon the cold hard ground. It's not a magic trick, it's the way things are meant to be. Oh, healing from a single seed with my crooked stick. And it keeps me from falling down upon the cold hard ground. Crooked stick, and it keeps me from falling down upon the cold hard ground with my crooked stick.
Hey, that's our show for today. Thank you, Alex Bevan, for hanging out and talking with us and sharing a little song. We'll see you next week. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications of upcoming episodes, and as always, please comment, tell us what you're up to. Please hit the like button, and we'll see you next time.